We're fucking set. Ready or not, here we come,
Mm.
bitches. It's another
Here we
week.
go again.
Yeah, right? Alright, look, there's not a lot on this story list, so I'm about to have me a moment real quick.
Sure.
I don't, find myself, relating with video game characters, too often. That doesn't happen with me personally. I have, moments,
Mhm.
but Persona 5 has been hitting me with, shit that I'm like, damn. That's a little close for home for
Mhm.
my taste. Holy shit, damn, I don't want to hear that.
Uh-huh.
Great example, Ryuji. You find out during the course of the story that, his background is, his dad ran out on him and his mom right after he was born, right? And,
Mm.
he was never good in school, but he was good at sports, specifically track. So his
Uh-huh.
goal was he was going to be great at track, get himself a scholarship, and take a lot of that burden off his mom. And I'm like,
Mhm.
damn,
Hmm.
damn, fuck, I know people like that though. I know
Oh
dudes who
yeah.
grew up like that. Like that shit I know. I went to school with kids like that who's like, I ain't great at school. But motherfucker, I can
Mm.
dribble this motherfucking basketball like nobody else. I got
Yeah,
college
you
I got college
vary some of the
prospects.
things. Yeah, vary some of the things. You probably find people like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, they're like
That's
I may not be
uh,
good at math, but I got college prospects. I got dudes coming down here scoping me out during the game. I'm like,
mm,
shit.
yeah.
Damn, that hits hard. Personally for me, I was like, fuck, Ryuji, I probably know you. That's because Ryuji be on some straight. No, for real, Ryuji
Mm.
be on some straight thug timing sometimes with the shit you get
Mhm.
into with him. I'm like, Ryuji, you need to stop being a goddamn thug. That is ridiculous, sir. I'm on probation. Do you know what that
Mm.
means? That means if you do some thug shit and the cops show up, they're not giving me another chance. They're just gonna lock my ass up. I need you to chill with this thug shit, this thug mentality. We're not like that, Ryuji. We're not in the hood anymore, dude. Come on, chill. And then An
Mm.
has a great moment where she invites you to go with her to a photo shoot, right? Because she's like
Mhm.
she does modeling gigs, and she gets into this conversation with a model, and this model's
Mhm.
complaining about how much she has to exercise, about dieting, keeping her weight
Mhm.
down. So a little foreshadowing. A while back before this, the Phantom Thieves all go out to this fancy restaurant where there's an
Mhm.
all you can eat fancy restaurant, and On gets nothing but fucking desserts.
Yeah.
Nothing but desserts. It's cakes, everything. This bitch piles that shit on. Nothing but desserts.
Mhm.
So the second they went there, I was like, oh no.
Hmm.
Oh no. Sweetheart, you're born natural. That's a natural talent. You've never had to work for that. That came to you naturally. That's your parents' genetics, baby. That's not. And the fucked up thing is, she gets passed over for the gig for the other model because the other model makes it seem like
Uh,
An doesn't work very hard for what she has. And I'm like, bitch, that's ridiculous. She's got to work hard in other ways. That's so fucked up.
mhm.
And I'm like, you know what, An? Don't even stress it because, that's still fucked up. But you didn't deserve that kind of mistreatment. That's so fucked up. As a guy who can't put on weight to save my life half the goddamn time, trust me, sweetheart. Just
Mhm.
Just do what you do. Once you hit 30 or 40, I'm sure your metabolism eventually slows the fuck down. I'm sure it does.
Maybe.
And then
But the
there,
biggest change happens anyway at around, I guess, 20,
yeah,
25, so around that area. When you're out of puberty, you don't grow anymore much. Then,
yeah, but yeah,
and
no.
then you put on the pant sizes if you don't change your diet.
If you don't change your lifestyle choices, your lifestyle changes them for you.
Mm.
Yeah, but there was another one where An goes to visit her friend in physical therapy, and she's it fucks On up because I've been to physical therapy after I blew my knee out. That shit is
Mm.
fucking rough. Dude, physical
Mhm.
therapists are fucking metal, dude. They don't give a shit. They're like, listen, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna be miserable. But I promise you, when this is over,
But you
you
gotta
will.
work through it.
When this is over, you're gonna be better. He goes,
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't apologizing for shit that I'm about to do to you. There's not a single apology coming out of my face towards you. She's described.
Yeah, I haven't had to go through that personally, but I mean, you see it in pretty much every series when a character has an accident or has to get back up. Essentially, you see that they're miserable, but it's always the plot point of stop feeling miserable for yourself, work through it.
Yeah, but like there, she's talking about. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, damn, this is way too close for home from my ass because I've been through this shit before. I'm like, fuck, I'm sorry, Ann, you had to go through and see that shit. I hate to break it to you, man. Physical therapists are fucking metal. They don't get, dude. My physical therapist, dead ass. He was a dude was like 5'11", 255 pounds, built like a brick shit house. Dude was huge. This motherfucker was huge, and. The problem with me is that I deal with stress and pain with sarcasm. That's
oh boy, so that was a lot of sarcasm right there.
Yeah, but sometimes my sarcasm goes from being like reasonable to being annoying, and then he will just up what I have to go through a little more, right? So
essentially, you were doing it to yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was giving me exactly what I deserved. I don't blame anybody else but me for what I had to go through for those like 6 to 8 weeks of physical therapy, 3 days a week. That shit was tough. Wouldn't wish it on maybe my worst enemy. Maybe.
I had to think there for a second.
I wasn't sure because there's some that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy, but that one.
Maybe not that bad.
Yeah, like maybe I'd have to really reevaluate who I consider my worst enemy before I would wish that on them, though. They'd have to really think that shit through. Yeah, no.
Maybe your second worst.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. Persona 5's been hitting different. The more I play, the more I go through these confidant stories, the more I'm just like, fuck. Okay, shit. This is. Damn, I really need to start playing these games 100%. You get way more mileage out of this shit. This is ridiculous. I'm feeling shit every time I turn this fucking game on. I ain't trying to feel things. I play video games to escape reality, motherfucker, not to deal with it. That's ridiculous. I almost might agree with some of these anti-SJW assholes on Twitter. I don't want to
keep your feelings out of my video games.
Yeah, like I don't want to do that because I don't like most of them, but I might have to start agreeing with them, and that to me that's abandoning what I believe in if I do that. I feel like I'd be betraying myself there. I just don't know if I'm capable of that right now, CD. I'm not really with that right now. Yeah, that was a big one. That was like 2 videos worth of just getting hit in the gut with like real shit, like real life. Like I took a moment and like I dropped the facade. I'm like, bro, this shit's for real. Like what these characters are going through, this is some real ass shit. This, like, one of the characters ends up sleeping on my couch for like a couple of days because he's in between housing. I'm like, yeah, been there too. been there too. Hey man, sometimes the best you can get is a couch to sleep on. There ain't no shame in that. You got a place to sleep. Who the fuck are you gonna tell me about that? I've been there. Shit, that shit sucks. I take that back. It doesn't suck. Sleeping on the couch is better than sleeping like out in the streets. Trust me. There's way worse places you can sleep than on somebody's futon. All right.
Yeah.
Drop your pride, ladies and gentlemen. Drop the pride. It can always get worse. Holy shit. But yeah, man. Persona 5. I didn't spoil anything too big because I don't know if you're ever planning or even considering. Considering on playing it,
take a while.
Yeah, I don't know your the cold death algorithm for choosing what games you play. I haven't. That's a very tightly kept secret, almost like the YouTube algorithm. No one really understands it. We can guess, we can predict.
Mystery with 7 locks, at least.
I don't know. I've heard it's like it's a long equation that takes in the rotation of the moon and the different moon phases and the day of the
Probably
week.
the distance to Mars
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff
a
like that.
variety of different
Probably.
variables. I still can't understand. I don't understand how that shit works. I'm still trying to figure that shit out. I've ran it by my best mathematicians and they still can't. They're just like, I don't understand this.
At this
There's
point, I don't think YouTube knows.
there's like 45 different variables here. I can't figure out this dude using every single letter of the alphabet in this equation to represent something, and there's no guide here. I have no idea what these different variables mean. It's insane, man.
And that's just the first part of the equation.
It's
We don't even talk about the second and third.
one other thing, this isn't like a part of the show or nothing, but it was some shit that I saw about like Diablo 4, and like I'm like losing interest like the more I hear about it. I'm not really like losing interest. Like I should have known better after Immortal. I feel like Immortal was like a good lead up to what we might be getting for Diablo 4 because it's gonna have paid currency. Yeah, it's gonna have cosmetics, but we already kind of guessed. It's gonna have cosmetic mounts. It's gonna have a lot of the light elements from Diablo Immortal in it, like not the super pay to win shit. But it's a single
cosmetic stuff. That's nothing
normal.
out of Immortal. That's a general thing.
Yeah.
They probably would have done that with Diablo 3 even if they would have thought better of how to implement the whole
It's the
thing.
It's the currency thing that annoys me though. Like if you want to
that's probably just for the store for the cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, but Blizzard already has a launcher.
Can't
you just do that from like the launcher or some shit? They already do it with
It's
WoW.
better to have that in game.
Okay.
It's better to have such a thing in game because then you can. It's probably also something to do with how you can do stuff legally. I'm guessing.
Oh.
And it might. And I mean, pretty much all the stores do it like that. So makes sense for them to do it like that there too.
I guess.
In World of Warcraft, I'm not sure.
World of Warcraft, you don't buy a separate currency.
In nothing?
No, there is no
just that. Okay.
It's dollars. It's dollaroonies. It's
My guess is that it's there like that because they did it really early in comparison to other games. They probably would have done it there as well with the whole thing. And it's probably easier to have just one generic add currency to account thing instead of having each of the things like level up stuff and each of those things connected directly to that.
Yeah.
Because if you have the currency in game already, then you just have to do that in game. You don't have to do have the player get out his credit card data or his PayPal data and all that.
Yeah, okay.
For one, it's easier for them, and on the other hand, it's also, I'd say, more comfortable for the player.
Yeah.
Because he just has to say, he knows he wants this and that and this, and then he just has to add a specific amount of currency to his account, and then
he's done.
He buys those things.
Yeah, he's done. Yeah. He doesn't have to deal with it anymore.
Then he goes in game and says this, this, and this, and done.
Okay.
Usually it's and also the other thing is, as many games do it like that, you have your specific packets, like you add 10, you add 20, you add 30 or 50 or whatever. And then, as many games do it, like you have something costs a few bucks less than your basic package, your basic 10, let's say. So you're inclined to have that remaining amount and buy something else. And add another 10
you're
to
never
your
gonna,
account,
you're never
and
gonna
so
get,
on.
You're never going to get rid of it. you're stuck. You're
Yeah,
stuck.
you essentially you always have a little bit of amount left, and
You
then
always have
you
currency left.
you look at your store because they have a new item there, a new cosmetic, like a new fancy looking mount, and it only costs, let's say, 5 for that, and you already have 3 left in your account, something like that.
Hmm.
And then you're inclined, okay, do I want this? Yeah, okay, I'll add the 10, and they'll probably have something better as a cosmetic later on that I also want, so it's fine for the remaining bucks to stay there.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
All right. Yeah.
So it's it's just pretty standard stuff.
Yeah. I guess maybe I'm just old fashioned. I guess.
Mm.
Like I don't.
And in comparison, I'd certainly prefer it like this, that they long-term support their game, in contrast to having a return of the auction house or real transactions that affect the game balance.
Yeah, looking at you, World.
So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
cosmetics is in comparison to Immortal, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's a matter of just lesser evils at that point, right? It's like
far lesser evils.
Yeah, it's like
since it's just cosmetics, I don't really count that as evil.
You see, though,
honestly.
That's the thing, though. Like they say, it's just cosmetics, but
as long as it stays just cosmetic, it's fine. We'll see when it's out, and
but
in the long run,
it's a single player. It's a single player game. Yeah. So like I
no, it's not. No, it's
well,
not.
It's.
You did pay attention to the announcements?
I know.
For one, it's a shared online world.
Yeah, but
and you have raid bosses. It's not a single player game. It's a mix.
It's a mix.
It's a definite mix. Obviously, you're gonna have most of the content available to play alone, but what they want to do is push for group play. Similar to Diablo 3, but even more so.
Yeah.
Especially given the online world where you'll be meeting the other players organically, kind of like in Path of Exile, but not just in Path of Exile, it's limited to the towns, and the instances you go into are limited to you and your party members. But with this one, it's probably gonna be like, okay, people are in your area, so you're gonna see some of them just from time to time. It's probably gonna be something like that. But then if you go into dungeons and the like, that's probably gonna be instance for you and your party. But the overworld is probably gonna be shared, like you meet other people, you can do spontaneous groups and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Can't argue. Would be my guess.
So, Mr. Death, Mr. Chill Death, if I may, what have you been up to?
This week's been rather relaxed in comparison. I haven't been playing that much since I've also been out and about, but I've continued a bit with Valhalla again. That's been the main thing. And continuing the main story there, mainly, it's going pretty decently still.
Do you have any intention on buying Spider-Man Remastered for PC? Is that something that's
Not
like
right
on
away.
your? Is that something?
At some point, probably, yeah.
All right, so it's like it's on your radar, but it's not something you're gonna pick up right away.
Nah, it's when it's on sale or something like that.
Fair enough.
Because I mean, it's a decent open world, but I'm a decent Spider-Man fan, but I'm not. It's not top of my list, let's say.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair. Totally fair.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
That's definitely I wish listed it, so I get alerted to sales and stuff, but I'm not in any rush to play.
Unless it's on like a pretty good sale, you're probably not.
Yeah, unless it's like a 75 or more % sale.
Jesus, 75% off. That's a game I don't like at 75% off. I don't like a game at that amount. Damn.
That would be when I would pay it, when I would get it soon. If it's a lesser sale, then it's sometime later on.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'm not saying I won't buy it at if it's 25 to 50%, but not any time in this or maybe next year. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll see.
there's tons of other stuff.
I'm not in any rush with
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But it's definitely on the watch list, let's say.
That's fair. At the rate Sony's going, there's going to be more and more stuff.
Definitely.
From them anyway, so I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And was that Steam Deck verified? That's Steam Deck verified, right?
Yes, it is.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it was. Sony was. So, of course they would have made sure that was Steam Deck verified.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
You know, I gotta be honest with you. I don't really think this. I don't think this device would have been as successful if it wasn't for Steam. I'm gonna be really. I don't think like if Epic
definitely not as much as it was. Yeah. Sure.
Like if we went back in time into like an alternate universe and it was the Epic deck.
Then it definitely wouldn't have. Then it definitely would have flopped. Absolutely.
The Epic deck.
Sales would have definitely not been epic.
I
mean, we've had similar devices in the past, so yeah, it would have probably been around that success. So it's a pretty niche product, but given the whole Steam OS on it and that whole support and just all the devs continuing to add support to stuff, yeah, that's definitely a big pusher for it.
It's I'll give Gabe credit. He's dedicated, man. Like, look, man, you can say what you like about Steam as a company, all right, about whether or not they support things sometimes, but I get the feeling that Steam is a little bit like I was in school, all right. When I'm motivated, I get shit
really
done.
Motivated.
Yeah, when I'm motivated, guess what, baby? I get work done. All right, we getting this work. When I'm not motivated, well,
yeah, Valve is doing pretty good in that regard. They don't already always succeed on the first try, like see the Steam machines or Steam Link. The Steam controller was a pretty good thing. Not perfect, but it was a pretty good first attempt at a controller, and they definitely the Steam Deck definitely got some advantage from that. Because they had that knowledge, and from the Steam Index, the whole VR thing.
And like, I don't really want to count the Steam machines out because that was like that's a weird situation with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that helped the Steam Deck. That was just an instance of them not succeeding with one of their attempts.
Yeah,
because they definitely didn't put enough thought behind that.
Yeah. It was a cool like idea.
It was an interesting attempt
on paper.
Exactly. It was an interesting attempt that just didn't work out because there were too many things against it, let's say.
So
there were too many negatives to it.
So if you don't have any other games that you've been playing,
nope, not this week.
So THQ Nordic had a big event, a big ass event.
Speaking of many games,
yeah, they had a big event, and CD did not tell me that Command and Conquer was back. He did not tell me that Command and Conquer had returned. He just left that shit out. He just posted up a trailer. Now I'm being funny about it. It's not Command and Conquer. I mean, I'd be surprised if you looked at it and didn't think and thought it might be Command and Conquer. Because
if you watch the trailer without knowing what the game's name is, you definitely get a specific vibe from it.
I posted a GIF from Command and Conquer in the Discord, and CD's like, "Yeah, it turns out you saw it too, didn't you? Yeah, I got the dude. That game looks dope as fuck though. That thing looks dope as fuck. I haven't really been down with like strategy games, like real-time strategy games, like a really long time.
Yeah, especially the classic strategy games. Yeah. And you've seen which company makes this one. 3D Realms.
Oh. Aren't they dead though?
Yep. No.
They died. I thought they
Absolutely not. 3D Realms never died. Nope.
Well, excusez-moi, sir. So
they weren't really at the top of their game for a long time, but yeah, they kept being around, and they've become bigger and bigger over time.
so
After I think the Embracer Group bought them at some point. I'm
oh.
pretty
So
sure.
so what you're telling me was they were embraced.
You could say that. Yeah,
That
they were
that's it.
they were integrated
That's what
into
we call
Saber
it.
Interactive.
That's what we call it. Anytime they buy a company, we
Yeah.
say they were embraced. Mm, I'm coining it. It's
Yeah,
mine now.
it was. Let's see here. Yeah, it was August last year when they were acquired through Saber Interactive, which is one of the branches of the Embracer Group. They're one of their publisher branches.
So a little bit of background, everybody, for how CD enlightened me to this event. He initially just posted a link to the actual event, the actual like video event, but then CD realized that maybe I might not watch the whole damn thing, cause maybe. So CD being clever, he screenshotted the upload page from THQ. Yeah, there were quite a few games here. To name a few, Destroy All Humans 2, Reprobed.
Yep. That remaster.
Gothic One Remake.
Yep.
There's one I'm gonna leave one for last, but you'll see.
Yeah, the Gothic One Remake was essentially announced in, I think, 2019 when they had that playable teaser or sort of a prototype or proof of concept where they wanted to see how people react to it and if they should continue in that direction or change things. And they certainly had a lot of response there because that game is very popular, especially here in Germany.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
The dev was the original dev Piranha Bytes. Yeah, pretty popular dev in terms of that because these games had a specific tone to them that isn't known all that isn't used very frequently.
Fair enough.
Really good game. Really good games.
Jagged Alliance 3.
Which looks like it's finally a good sequel to the Jagged Alliance series. There have been attempt after attempt of doing another game in that series, and pretty much all of them have been terrible.
So one thing I wasn't expecting to see on here. So I'm not a big wrestling fan, but my other friends, my other friends on a different Discord watch wrestling every week, and they watch specifically AEW wrestling. There's this whole thing between AEW and WWE. It's this huge thing, and WWE is a garbage pile. But I'm not going to go there. We're not doing that today. So I was really surprised when I saw that the game that they've been talking about from AEW that they've been slowly talking about was on this list from the Embracer Group. Was not expecting that. Sir.
It looked like fun, especially the mini games seemed quite absurd at some of them. So yeah, they seem to be embracing the whole thing in a not so serious way, which is good.
So the thing I missed when you first posted this, because I didn't enlarge the picture, CD, but you just kept it quiet, and you didn't even hint that this was on this list. You just not gonna mention Alone in the Dark? You was just gonna, CD, I thought we was friends. You just gonna let that slide? You wasn't even gonna be like, hey, Reza, look at the bottom of the list, my dude. Look at the bottom of the list. Alone in the Dark? We going back? Are they bringing...
That's a reimagining of the first one.
Oh, thank God.
Or at least a reimagining of the original.
Mr. Carnby is coming back?
Yes. Yes, he is.
And he's not going to be a scarred up looking motherfucker out in the middle of New York City cursing at every single motherfucker he meets. And fuck you anyway. God, that game. That fucking video game. I have never seen such a divisive game on the internet until that one. People, there were two camps. You were either like, you know what, yeah, it's a good game, or you're like, this game is fucking miserable.
But that was the 2008 one, right?
Yeah, it would have been 2000.
The one where well, your car shot into orbit if it just as much as ran over a small pebble.
Yeah, the one where you have to open up your jacket in real time. Yeah.
I've heard pretty divisive things about it as well. So yeah, although it's, I think from what I've heard, the PlayStation version has been reworked there back then. So that was essentially an improved release. I don't think the PC version is though. So. But this one, yeah, definitely looks interesting. The writer for it has done Soma and Amnesia: A Dark Descent before.
Oh, he did Soma?
Yep.
Oh, okay. No, he's good. I ain't worried about him then. I ain't worried at all. If he did bro, fuck him for
And
Soma.
He did the better Amnesia.
Fuck him for what he did to me with Soma. That was not cool. That is not. That is a crime for what you did to me with that fucking video game, sir. That is abusive. That's an abusive relationship I did not ask for.
Yeah, so that's certainly what we've been shown. Looked pretty interesting.
God damn, man, they just. It's honestly.
It's a really good list.
It's really nice. It's really nice to see, like, old ass properties get a second chance get a second, third, or even fourth chance. Like,
yeah, similar to Outcast 2 finally being a thing. After an eternity of people waiting for something else. Besides that, kind of remake, at least as far as I've heard. But even though interestingly, the Steam reviews seem to be pretty positive on that, but the reviews were kind of meh. So I don't know how exactly that was, but this one looked quite good.
So, you break up a really interesting point, CD. So, like, a game comes out that you might be interested in, right? The publication reviews are, like, middling to negative. But you go on Steam, and it's, like, positive to very positive. How do you just go, like, well, actual people played it, and they like it, so it can't be as bad? Or...
That's a case where I have to look closer, because that's always an interesting situation. It might be that it's the release that wasn't great and they patched it or changed stuff so it improved, or maybe it's just a different audience that likes it and the general reviewer audience doesn't. It's always a case-by-case basis, I'd say.
The only case,
but it certainly needs a closer look in a case like that.
Where I get skeptical, like hella skeptical, is like if the reviews are good, but all the player reviews are bad.
Yeah,
that's
kind of a warning sign right there.
Right there. If all the reviews come out and it's like an 8, but then all the player, and we're not even just talking Metacritic, like fuck Metacritic. We're talking like
just the Steam, like you have an 8 to 9 as an official review rating average, so 80 to 90, but then you go to Steam and it's mostly negative.
It's mostly negative, bruh. At that point, like, I'm not even looking deeper. I'm just like,
something's wrong there.
There's a disconnect. There is a giant. But you know what I love the most about reviews though? Whenever like a
Mm-hmm.
big game comes out that like you know is gonna be good, like you're fairly sure,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I don't know, Stealth puts out his list of like all the review outlets, and it's like 9,
Mm-hmm.
9, 9, 10, 9, 9, 9, 10, 9, 9,
Mm-hmm.
5.
mm.
It's like that. It's like that joke out of every single cartoon whenever there's like a sporting event, and like it's like America
Mm-hmm.
gives it 10, this country gives it 10, and then like the fucking French give it like a fucking 2. It's like
Or a
yeah,
0.
it's like 0. Like I'll be honest with you, this is like
Mm-hmm.
real talk. If I was a reviewer,
Mm-hmm.
bruh, that's got to be tough to be like the one guy. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure. Look, I don't think they do it just for clicks because there's no benefit out. I mean, there's probably some benefit out of just being the only negative review out of like everybody else. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In that case, it's always a thing of. It's possible that he just didn't like the game. He just didn't click. The game just didn't click with him, or
mm-hmm.
maybe he had issues, technical
Yeah,
difficulties, or something. That can happen, especially if it's a PC release. Depending on your setup, it just can cause bugs that aren't there with many others. So yeah,
I
it's
just
difficult in a case like that.
I love it though. I do. I love
Mm.
it. I love it every time. Every time I see it. Every time I see one. Every time it's like one outlet out of like
Mm.
12 that
Yeah.
goes there. I'm like, damn,
Mm.
damn. One of these things is not
Mm.
like the
Yep,
other.
absolutely.
Oh goodness, I love it. I fucking love
Yeah.
it.
It's
So,
also nice that THQ also attempts to target audiences that haven't really had much in the past. Like, which one was it? Recreation. Like that's essentially it's pretty much Trackmania, but with more but with a kind of a destruction derby, a spin to it,
yeah,
like you can. I mean, obviously it's in the name, so it's essentially just the cars itself can be pretty deformed from what I've seen in the trailer. So
I'm.
that seems interesting. And Stuntfest, in when you just switch from being in the car to being in a sort of a wingsuit, and then go on the track, and then switch back to being the car. That seems like fun. Haven't been many games like that in
it
the past few years, I think.
it really interests me in a regard to like the
Hmm.
idea of like having IPs and then like not using them, right? Whereas with Embracer Group,
Hmm.
they have a fuck ton
Oh yeah,
of
they
IPs,
definitely
right?
have.
And
Hmm.
they're bringing back like genres that we just don't see anymore. Like generally just
Hmm.
don't see. And it's really
Yep.
interesting to me because it's like anybody, like any company could bring back maybe not the IP but the genre, right? Like
Hmm.
RTSs, destruction
Yep. Classic
derbies.
RTS.
Like
Hmm.
anybody can bring these type of genres
Yeah.
back, but like nobody
Hmm.
really is touching them. Like we don't really see that many RTS games
Yep.
dropped. Really,
Especially the classic RTS games. I mean, we've had the Age of Empires HD remakes. We've had the Command and Conquer remake. Besides that, in a big way, hardly anything.
so
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because they really do quite nicely with this. They have quite a good variation, and they still have 26. Oh, pardon me, 25 unannounced games
Jesus.
because they also teased a uh, uh, South Park. They teased the South Park game right at the end of the presentation.
They have the rights to do South Park games?
Apparently. Apparently they do, and they're working with the company that's doing the South Park games. So, yep, they might not have the rights, but they're certainly working with the developer that has them.
Okay. So I'm gonna break the order here because this story catches my eye because I like it when I like stories like I like to talk about these kind of things. It involves Genshin Impact. I'm bringing this story next because there's a friend of mine who I play 14 with who also plays Genshin, and this dude's already put a decent amount of money into Genshin.
Oh, really?
And, right.
All
And,
right.
like I make fun of him about it a little bit. Like not like I'm not like mean to him, but I'm like, bro, how much?
Just a bit teasing.
Yeah, I'm like. He's like, man, Genshin pulls all the right levers in my brain. I'm like, apparently it pulls all the right levers in your wallet too, because you just be dumping that shit out. He goes, shut up, man. It's not like that. I'm like, okay, dude, whatever.
Pulling for his waifus.
Genshin Impact development costs will soon make it the most expensive video game ever made. That's a very interesting perspective. That's a very interesting thing to say. Genshin Impact's original budget was $100 million, though by the time the game actually launched, it had ballooned to double that.
Yep.
As of right now,
and since then they've been working on it constantly.
I love this article already because they mentioned my favorite vaporware non-existent piece of software. As of right now, Star Citizen is the most expensive game in terms of development budget at $400 million. This in spite of the fact that the game has yet to officially launch. Let me correct you, niche gamer. The game is never coming out. The game does not exist. Sorry. Just wanted to put my addendum there. Fuck you. The next most expensive game is Cyberpunk 2077 at $360. They spent that much on that?
I mean, they've been working on it for a long time.
And it launched like that?
Yeah.
Okay. If you say so. Assuming the estimates from HoYoverse are still correct, then Genshin Impact also costs $200 million per year to continue development and support. This means it's only a matter of weeks before it officially eclipses the two-game $200 million per year to support.
Yeah. And continue develop. Because they're doing updates constantly.
I'm about to say, a game like Genshin, like I wonder what its like update schedule's like. Cause like 14, we get content updates like every 2-ish to 3-ish months.
That's
somewhere around there.
Let's have a look if there's a list of when the updates have been.
I'd be hella
because for one, there's always the new versions which have sometimes new characters, new story, new quests, and some of them add new areas as well. Because they didn't start with all the areas right away. So you had the map, but you saw where the areas were that weren't accessible right away.
So I want to read to you a bit of a comment.
All right.
From the Niche Gamer article, because as you know, there's nothing that makes me more excited than internet discourse.
Yeah,
obviously. From GRSG Punk, Jesus fucking Christ, weren't free-to-play, pay-to-win mobile games, in quotation mark, supposed to be cheap, low-budget affairs designed to maximize microtransaction revenue with minimal development costs? Well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Genshin keeps people. You're not. You can get
it's
people.
Not really a pay-to-win game.
Yeah, I don't know much about it, so I don't really. I can't speak on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's if it's a pay-to-win. I know it's free to play.
Yeah, I've played it a while, and it's definitely not what I consider pay-to-win. You can spend money to do things, but you don't have to. Definitely not, because it's not a competitive game. It's a PvE game,
right?
Pretty much completely, and So you could advance your progress by spending money, for example, to buy certain materials, or by obviously spending money to get additional pull chances for characters. But you definitely don't have to. You can just get by with what you have, and you always with each update get also additional currency, and if they have stuff like
I know characters are a big thing.
maintenance stuff and stuff like that, if they have to take it offline for maintenance and all that, especially during the updates, then for that time you get additional currency that you can use to pull characters. And obviously there's the whole pity roll thing, the pity pools, which are comparatively not that bad in comparison to other free-to-play games. That's pretty decent. And yeah, there's really no need to pay unless you choose to, because you want different certain characters and you just continue rolling for them. So obviously that's going to happen with a lot of people, but
I will say
it's not a you have to.
Because I will say, Genshin is an interesting case in my mind, right? Because okay, it's free to play, right? So
Yep.
your financials are coming in from players paying for additional shit that is not the game necessarily.
Yep.
That tells me that this game, is making bank. like,
oh, it absolutely is.
Like,
it absolutely is.
Like, this game
it's listed, I think, in the story as well. So if we read on a bit in the story, it shows how much it generated.
Yes, here it is. Of course, despite these high costs, Genshin Impact also enjoyed a great deal of financial success. The game made back half of its initial budget in the first 2 weeks after launch. Back in May, it was reported to have generated a grand total of $3 billion.
Yep.
Never mind, sir. Never mind. You have made your point very clear. I understand now.
Which puts the game on track to be making roughly $1 billion every 6 months.
Good lord. I just don't think about those kind of numbers for a free-to-play fucking video. I mean, I shouldn't be this fucking naive. You know I shouldn't, but I am. My bad.
Yeah.
Naivete.
And obviously, people are gonna complain about stuff like this because it's a free-to-play game, and they're gonna be apprehensive of this can't be a good thing. But from all I've seen, the game doesn't make this in a negative way. It doesn't. It's definitely pretty much the polar opposite of Immortal.
Yeah. Because, like, I don't know. I don't have the same negative feelings initially towards Genshin Impact as I do towards, like, Immortal or other scummy video games. And my few friends that do play this and put money into it, they don't seem to feel like they're getting ripped off. As far as I can tell from them, they don't feel like they're getting the raw end of the stick. So, you know.
Because there's really nothing stopping you from optimizing your play, from getting better items,
but
through
can't
just
you
playing
say that?
the game.
But you could say that for, like, I mean, okay, that might not.
You can definitely say that. You can definitely say for Immortal, it's definitely not letting you get stuff if you don't pay.
You can,
because it puts on the brakes hardcore.
Yeah, it's like in theory, on paper, if you run the math long enough, you could, but realistically speaking, you're not going to.
Yep. Because the Genshin Impact doesn't have. It has some limits in terms of daily quests and certain things that you can run in just a certain amount of times per day or in a certain time period, but that's the same for free players and people who pay stuff.
Right. Right.
That's not different. The one thing where you get an advantage in terms of you get some items that may be a bit better is when you do the battle pass. But you still get some stuff there, like currencies if you don't pay but do the battle pass, and that's nothing game breaking.
No, I wouldn't say.
And it's not stuff like you pay more for more battle passes, because I think it's only just one battle pass active, and if you pay for that, then you get a bonus when you continue on that. But besides that, I don't think there's really a way to advance yourself in terms of that, unless you count just the pulls, because those obviously, if you get more of the same character, that evolves the character and you get more abilities and stuff which can increase your power, but that's pretty much just boosts for your progress, essentially. It's nothing like real what I'd count as pay to win.
Right. Well, that's a cool story. So, CD.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about something else now. We're gonna jump on over to the Sega Genesis Mega Drive 2 Mini, as they announce more games. Now, CD, I've never hit it on this show that Sega is not my favorite retro console. I've never hit it. I've never beat around the bush on this topic.
Yes.
So they announced their 4 set of games available out of their 5 planned live streams. This is their 4th announcement now, and there's some shit here I want to talk about. First off, Phantasy Star 2. Gonna be honest, that's pretty fucking awesome. I'm kind of okay with that. And then towards the bottom of the Sega CD list.
The second to last, huh?
Yeah. That caught my attention hella fast. They got Shin Megami Tensei for Sega CD.
Yep.
Okay. It's like you had my interest. Now you have my attention. Now you have my attention. Now I'm paying attention. Now we talking. We talking right now. I'm going to be real, man. I don't know what the difference is between like Sega and Nintendo and how they handle situations like this, getting these games on these portable devices. But like Nintendo hasn't come close to what Sega's doing with this second one. They haven't even. But then again, I don't think Nintendo was all that interested in doing anything that competitive anyways. I think Nintendo's just like, well, our games sell no matter how many games we have on there. We could make an SNES Classic with 6 games and people will pay for that shit. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
That's probably true, yeah. They would complain, but they would still buy it.
Yeah,
probably.
right? They'll be mad about it, but guess what? They gonna open their purse. They gonna open their wallets. So, have you ever played? Have you ever played like Sega CD games?
The Sega CD games? I don't think so, no.
So one of the things that made Sega CD games kind of dope, especially Sega CD versions of games that were already out, was the music.
Yeah, because they had CD audio there. Obviously.
The music in so many of those Sega CD games is fucking bomb. The Sega CD version of, I think it's Final Fight? That's the one for Sega, right? Is it Final Fight or is it...
No, Streets of Rage was the Sega fighter, the beat 'em up.
Yeah,
Final Fight was, I think that only had Nintendo side releases.
Okay, either way, it was one of those two. The Sega CD version, like, that shit's dope. the music in that game, it has a very different vibe because, like I've always said, that 16-bit music, the crunchiness of the Sega audio, because Sega's audio chip was kind of trash. It was like it was.
It was very different. I wouldn't necessarily call it trash, but it was much easier to make bad music with it. But if someone could use it well, it was great.
Yeah, when they got it right, they got it right.
They got it really right.
Yeah, but like the music, every time I've played a Sega CD game through emulation or otherwise, like fuck, man, play fucking Snatcher. I keep bringing this fucking game up. God damn, the music in Snatcher for Sega CD is fucking phenomenal. You marvel at just how good the music is in that game. It's like, wait, a console did this? A console's throwing out bangers like this every few minutes? What? So yeah, I'm kind of, one, I'm super interested now, and two, emulation has gotten really good. I don't want to hear any more complaints that emulation couldn't make some of this shit happen. Sega CD has been emulatable for a very long time.
Yep.
Yeah, so...
And speaking of the audio, I just remembered there was another problem. It depended a lot on the model of the Mega Drive, the Genesis that you had. Because the first one was pretty good from what I remember, but I think they kind of downgraded the audio with the following ones for some reason.
Yes.
I think there was a problem there.
Yeah, no, because
which made it sound worse.
Not to mention the Sega Model 2 was mono only.
Yeah, that was another problem.
Yeah, it was it output mono specifically, which is a weird turn to make for your
That was one of the problems, but I think there was another problem that something, I don't know if they changed the chip, the audio chip, or if they changed the implementation, but I think that one sounded worse in general.
It doesn't sound great.
If I remember correctly.
It doesn't sound great.
The first one was the good one.
I still want me a Model 1. I still can't fucking find one where I live. I want a Model 1 so bad. Not to even use it. it. I just want one. Like,
just to have it displayed.
Yeah.
That's also the best looking one. Also the best looking one. Yeah.
I'd have it on display next to my OG one chip SNES. The one that doesn't turn yellow in the sun.
Yeah, I think the Model 1 compared to the Model 2 is kind of like taking the original SNES and comparing it to the American release.
Yeah.
In terms of how it looks.
It hurts, man. It hurts. It really does. What time? Oh, shit. Okay. I think I got enough time for one more, right? Shit. I'm sorry. I didn't...
That's gonna be fine.
You know, I'm gonna throw in this before I go to the last one, just because I want to, and because I like to pat people on the back for success whenever success happens around them, and because I must say I feel like the fans are kind of responsible for why this is happening. Kind of. Hear me out. So, surprising nobody, Sonic 3, the movie, is a thing.
Yep.
And I must say, I think the fans could take responsibility here, because if we hadn't did what we did with Sonic 1...
Oh, yeah. If that would have happened, nope. No way. That would have been even a 2.
And I genuinely do believe the studio really does work with love. I've seen Sonic 2. It's really funny. Like, it cracks me the fuck up. It cracks me the fuck up.
And it's crazy how much of the lore and all the details they get right.
Yeah.
In that one, and how much they put into that. You see the helicopter coming down. S.A.
Yeah. Okay.
What are they called? Gun? Really?
Yeah. Like, I got
that and the mean bean.
Yeah, they dug really hard for that one. You know, there was like a writer.
There were really people there that know their stuff.
Oh, I was gonna say there was a writer there who loves Mean Bean Machine, and he was like,
Probably.
guys, listen.
Mm-hmm.
He writes it. He writes that line, and they're all like, all right, Mean Bean. He's like, what? He's like, dude, I promise
Trust
you, when
me.
people hear this, they're gonna flip. So yeah, pat yourself on the back, fans. Y'all did it. Y'all showed up. You showed up to Sonic 1. You showed up to Sonic 2, and now we get into Sonic 3. And I can't wait to see what they come up with for the initial art for the sign art for Sonic 3. It's gonna be baller. It's gotta be baller. Cause they killed it with Sonic 2's initial art for its artwork for the movie. It was so good.
Yep.
You could definitely tell somebody looked at like the box art for Sonic 2 for Genesis was like,
oh, absolutely.
They were like,
we're taking that.
Yeah, we want that. We want that right there. That's what we want. We want it to look just like that. All right.
And I really hope that they get a voice actor half as good as the one for Knuckles for our new guy.
Dude, Idris Elba was not like I could replay this timeline 50 times and I still would never have expected Idris Elba to kill being Knuckles. That's such a weird choice.
It has no right to work as well as it did.
It works so well, and it really shouldn't. I don't think he has the right to make that work.
Knuckles in that movie is the most well-spoken dumbass ever.
Yeah. And I'm kind of okay with that because like every time
funny.
There's so many different ways to interpret Knuckles, and I never really did like how they interpreted him for like Sonic Boom, where they just made him a big idiot.
No.
They just made him dumb.
I thought it was pretty funny.
It was alright. I mean, it's like, look, dude, calling someone dumb like it's funny for me like a handful of times, and I'm just like, come on, guys. I guess that's what you're into. I like this Knuckles better, anyways. Just because.
Sure. I mean, it's both good interpretations, I'd say.
So
it works both of them work because Sonic Boom really has that feel in all of the characters in some ways. I mean, just look at how they did Robotnik in that series.
I know.
So you can't really be mad at them for doing Knuckles as he is.
And yeah, you got to give Jim Carrey credit.
Oh yeah.
He did Sonic 1.
Man.
He doesn't usually do sequels. He did Sonic 2, came and fucking slayed it.
Yep.
And I'm assuming
he did even better in 2 than in 1, really. That was.
So I'm assuming he's coming back for Sonic 3.
I hope so. That's still up in the air, but I really hope so.
I hope he comes back for Sonic 3. Yeah. Mr. Carey,
I really hope so.
You are the Dr. Eggman that we have been needing.
Yeah.
But
even if not, maybe they'll just make the storyline without him, which would work.
Yeah, it could work.
And we've had 2 movies with a great Eggman.
Yeah, let's not fuck it up now.
So that's
it's fine. Let's not fuck it up.
Yeah.
So this last story, before we wrap up today's show, is something I hadn't seen. I haven't seen this name in a very long time, since like the Game Boy Color. Technically speaking,
that's been a while.
Classic Japanese dev Sunsoft is returning with a live stream. For those of you that don't know, Sunsoft is an old ass fucking dev. These dudes have been around for a very long time. Now, like I said, I haven't heard hide nor hair from this company since I played, what was it, Robopon on the Game Boy Color.
I see.
Yeah. Sunsoft is known for being a retro game developer and publisher of titles such as Gimmick, Blaster Master, Spy Hunter, Batman, Trip World, and so on and so on. So yeah, they got clout. They got some skin in this game. I'll say that much.
Yep.
Gonna be honest, it's kind of crazy where we are in this gaming fucking timeline right now. We got a new Command and Conquer game. We have a brand new Command and Conquer game. We got Sunsoft coming back. We got Genshin making a fuck ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh.
Yep.
This industry is ridiculous right now. This shit's insanity. So August 18th, they'll be revealing. Well, I guess by the time this gets talked about, we'll have already done our next show. So we'll be talking about this next show, won't we? About whatever they decide to bring
Very
up.
likely, yeah.
Whatever they decide to publish between 2022 and 2023. So yeah, looking forward to it.
That'd be interesting.
Very interested to see what might be or may not be up your sleeve.
Gonna be interesting to see if they have something of their own IP still there, or if it's gonna be something completely new.
I mean,
they gotta give us another Batman. Super hard.
Oh God. Yes, please. Let's just.
Clock Tower returns.
Dude, we're already in a weird ass timeline. Don't give him any more ideas. I'm not ready to report on that shit. We're already in the weirdest gaming timeline imaginable. Don't give him any ideas. Shit, dude, we're already here.
Let's make it weirder.
Let's make it weirder. Like that time when Sony dropped that hot new Spider-Man trailer in 2022. All right, before we end the episode, let me explain. So on my timeline, on my dashboard for YouTube, it has the Spider-Man 2002 trailer, right? And I'm like, that's weird. Why is that on my fucking recommended list? And then I look at when it's uploaded, and it was uploaded like a couple of hours ago. I'm like, wait a minute, the fuck?
Sony Pictures be sleeping on that.
Dude, all the comments, dude, were memeing the fuck out of this. They're like, man, this movie looks fantastic. I can't wait to go see this in theaters. Man, the new
top of the shelves effects. Yeah, this is certainly top-notch CGI.
They're like, man, this new Spider-Man is lit. Man,
who's this new actor? That's an up and coming one, right? I haven't seen this one before.
Bro, YouTube comments are fucking brutal, dude. Holy shit. They were memeing the fuck out of them with this one. And
no surprise there.
And yes, it does say in the description that it's a flashback, but not everyone reads the description. So all people saw was
who reads descriptions?
All people saw was they just dropped a trailer for 2002 Spider-Man in 2022.
Whoopsie.
Okay, I guess if you really want to do that, fair enough. Who am I to judge?
Thankfully, YouTube comments doesn't allow pictures, because otherwise we would have a stream of Robin Williams shouting, "What year is this?"
Oh God.
It would be like you scroll down, you have streams of the picture, you scroll down 5 pages, still that picture.
Yeah, no, that would not be kosher at all. I don't think I'd love it, because I love it when the internet just memes on companies. I don't really have a problem with that. I think it's fucking hilarious. Look, man, the internet is a cesspool, but also the greatest invention ever created in the history of mankind. You just gotta decide which side of the internet you want to be a part of. And I choose. And look, man, my wife on a regular basis calls me chaotic neutral. She's like, you're not evil, She's like, you won't do evil things, but you will gladly watch terrible things happen to people. And I'm like, yeah, I'm an agent of chaos. I'll sit back and watch. I'm okay with that. The world can burn. I got popcorn. Let's go.
The more fire, the better, because you can get more popcorn more easily.
Yeah, see? You get it. Anyways, everybody, hope you've all enjoyed this lovely, lovely episode of the Turn-Based Cynics. As always, you can find our lovely podcast on Apple, Google, and even Spotify. And before I wrap up, episode 12, I fucked up on. It was uploaded, the description was uploaded, but the actual audio podcast was not. The actual audio for the podcast on Anchor was not, which I only found out today as we are recording this episode. So if you want to go back and listen to it, you can go and listen to it. It is officially up. My bad. I thought I had the audio upload. Apparently, the thing fucked up and let me add the description and finalize every other detail except for the audio being on the show. So when I went and checked the platform and there was nothing there, I'm like, oh no. But that's what YouTube's for. So I still had a version of it existing, and I still have all the audio myself anyway, so that's not a big deal. So as always, everybody, we'll be back next Sunday, and as always, the podcast will be uploaded on Sunday. Elsewise, I have to eat a nasty ass shoe with no calories, and I'm not down with that shit. That shit does not taste good. I ain't doing that. So, get through this week, everybody. Play some video games. Get through it. I get a day off actually partway through this week, so I'm pretty fucking excited. Nice. I work Monday. I'm off Tuesday. That's like the best day of the week for me to be fucking off. Holy shit.
Very good.
In any case, everybody, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I did it. We're here now.
Yes.
There are video games, and like...
Certainly.
There's talk that people can walk into stores and buy a PS5. I've only heard rumors of it.
Oh, really?
I've only heard far-flung tales, whispers.
Is that just an urban legend?
Whispers among the hills that consumers can walk into their local establishments and buy one of these fabled consoles. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I'm not speaking on that. I don't dabble in fallacious rumors and fairy tales. That's not really how I get down. I deal with facts, sir. And if I had such a hard time finding a PS5, I'll be interested to see, because we're already like 3 years into this console's lifespan, right? 3 years, two.
I think that's about right.
3 years. 3 years, and games are still getting, like a decent amount of games are still getting cross-released between I mean, I know why they're still cross-releasing them between last gen and this gen, because you know.
Let's see, what was the official first release?
I will say it's a little bit inconsistent though, like the logic, right? Because usually the first year or so they cross-release games between last gen and this gen because the adoption isn't very high. The adoption is growing within that first year, and then by the time you get to like year 2, everything levels out, and most people have kind of made the decision, and you can kind of just be done with it. But now, but here's the thing though, Sony also says that the sales of their consoles, more people are using them than not using them. So I have to ask, if that's the case, then why not? Like,
let's see, how many are currently sold? Around 21 million as of July, end of July. Which, it's a decent number, but it could also be much higher if they didn't have shipment and all those issues. So it's no surprise that the support for the old platform is continuing to be that big. And I mean, even with the PlayStation 3, we had a lot of support even long after it was done.
Yeah.
After the PS4 was there. Obviously, not always the same releases, but in this case, I think it's also far easier to do the releases for both.
Yeah.
Because you have essentially the same architecture, you just have to make sure that the lower version still runs. You can release it in lower quality or whatever. The amount of effort is comparatively much smaller than if you'd have to make a separate PS3 release, for example. I think that's that, and there's also a really big installation base still there. Let's check how many were sold of that as of end of 2019. We had 106 million PS4s. So yeah, I'd say at this point I'd expect cross-platform, cross-generational releases for still a while.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near the install base.
We're nowhere near the point where they can pull the plug on that and be like, nah, it's permanent. And I think other devs kind of get that same vibe too. It's like yeah, the PS5 is dope, but we can't really market our games solely on this one platform and hope that it will be just as successful as if we put it multiple places. And these, it's like next. Don't get me wrong, I love this thing. It's a really cool console, but I'd be remiss if I said I own that many games specifically for PS5. I really don't. I don't own many, if at all, anything for it. I think the first game I'm actually going to have that's going to be like specifically for PS5 is Soul Hackers 2.
Yes.
From Atlas. And probably Dio Field Chronicles whenever that comes out. And that might be, those will be the first few, and I'll just wing it from there. I told you, man. I told you. I only buy RPGs these days. That's all I really pick up.
Sure.
I know me well enough now. I know what I'm gonna play. I know what's gonna sit on my shelf and never get touched. I'd much rather not waste my fucking money. It's just, especially these days, if you're gonna be charging me $10 extra fucking dollars, and just throwing that out there. If you're gonna start charging me $10 extra for your games, and expect me to buy less, or at least expect me to be even more picky about what I spend my fucking money on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and while I still have you here, I just remembered the tweet that you did on Tourist-Based Cynics about the date.
Oh Christ!
You left out one word.
Oh Christ!
The day.
The day. Ah, damn it! You know what? It's fine. I'll fix it. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. I know exactly how to fix this. One sec. We're gonna fix this right. I am a genius. I am an absolute genius. Retweet, quote tweet. So turns out I wrote a fantastic tweet where I also forgot to say the day. Wonderful. Fantastic. Brilliant. TLDR. It's Sunday. Promise. I'm almost done. Done. Turned out I wrote a fantastic tweet. It's Sunday. Promise. I promise it's Sunday. Has to be Sunday. Totally is Sunday.
It's Sunday or shoe.
Yeah, it's Sunday or I eat the shoe. If I have to pick, it's gonna be Sunday. I'm not eating the shoe. I don't want to eat I don't want to eat the shoe. I don't want the shoe, sir. I don't want the shoe. Please don't make me eat the shoe, sir.
Only one making it is you.
Yeah, right. As with everything on in my internet career, the only time my life is ever difficult is when I make my life difficult. I am the master of my own misery, and trust me, I am very miserable. I am very good at making me miserable. Nobody else, just me. Everyone else just looks at me like, dude, just don't be miserable. And I'm like, nah, I have to be miserable. Cause I don't, I guess I just
I don't have a choice.
Yeah, I don't have a choice. I've already put myself